Now I'm gonna give y'all something here.
All right.
I want y'all to write this down. This is Saturday. This is Saturday.
All right, boys.
There's two horses that I really like. We didn't handicap these two races, but I want you to write these down. There's two horses I like on Saturday. The first two races, your double. The first race is the Perryville Stakes, going 100,000 for 3-year-olds, going 6 pounds, 11 o'clock. So if you have a hangover, you're going to have a rough time getting up on this one. The name of the horse is called, how do you pronounce that? Louis?
Yeah, Louis Vaporizer.
Louis Vaporizer. Now, hello, I mean, where's Vicks at in this commercial? But anyway, for a guy that I met in Chicago, and I'm just telling you talking about a guy that gets them ready, and I've seen him come to Churchill Downs. I saw him at Keeneland. I had him for the first time started at $32 this year. His name's Larry Lavelle. He's got a horse in there called Louis Vaporizer. That's who I picked on top. So I said to myself, really? And then in that same race, a trainer I never heard of called Craig McPherson from Hastings Park. I don't even know where the hell Hastings Park is. But he got Corey Lambie, the lead rider in Keeneland. You get 15-1. Name of the horse is called Bluegrass Angus. That could be your exact. Second race, the double, good race. It's a juvenile turf sprint, 100,000. It's not a Breeders' Cup race. The 10 horse, Richie the Bull.
Yep.
For Benny the Bull. For all you gangsters, right? Larry Ravelli. This horse won. This horse won, and I bet this horse. Jose Valdivia coming out to 10 hole. This horse can be tough. Those are the two I really like as far as in the early races. And now we'll jump over to. I haven't made all my selections yet for Saturday. I may make some changes, but a really good race. You're going to have a definitive favorite in this race. The race I'm talking about is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly Grade 1. Purse is $2 million. We're going to mile 16, and this may be your Oaks winner at Churchill Downs next year. I've seen this horse run twice in the Delmar Debutante, and in what was the one in Santa Anita? It's Chandelier. This filly's really
Yeah, he's talking about the number 10 Songbird.
But 75. 75.
But you can single there and start your pick 4 with her.
The 10 horse.
She may be more of a guarantee than Liam's at. Her numbers are superior to any filly in here. Her last race, she won with these, 102 Briz figure.
That's huge.
No other horse in this race comes close to that. She's outside, she has early speed. I have a feeling Mike Smith's just going to let her go in hand, take off, and I don't think they're going to catch her. She's definitely an A. If you're trying to get value, I kind of like the 2 a bit underneath, tap to it for Ralph Nix, Joel Rosario in the saddle. She's on the improve, she's by Tap It. Her last race she ran second to a horse that's going to take a lot of money in this race, and that's the 9 horse, Rachel's Valentina. Of the 2, I prefer the one that's 8-1 at Tap to It. And I also like the 4 a bit nickname. I know her last race came in the slop over at Belmont, but before that she won, posted an 86 Briz figure, 1x3 with ease. Getting Castellano in the saddle, and he's riding for Steve Asmussen, and he doesn't normally ride for him, so that's an angle that I like. So for me in this race, it's the 10 horse Songbird over the 2 Tap to It and the 7 nickname. And I'll only use those 3 in the horizontal wagers.
Now again, reverting back to what I said earlier about outside post positions, this is a real deal here. Real deal. Now, again, big 3s, doubles, trifectas, this is a real deal. And unfortunately, Rachel Valentina, you know who mother is? Rachel Alexander. Love this horse. But I'm telling you, this
I do
Songbird,
too.
this filly is really strong.
I went in there looking at Rachel
I
down.
agree with you. I think she's phenomenal. To me, she was like the best people in the country. What makes you so sure she won't go dirty?
I'm sorry,
What makes you so sure she won't go dirty?
because Jerry Hollendorfer is like Domino, put them where
You don't think he'll do it?
There's not too many specimens out here can run against the boys.
Trust us, Philly.
She's
But I've seen
Philly.
on TV, she was pretty good.
Say about the outside positions earlier, I wasn't here.
Well, the outside post positions traditionally, at Keeneland through this meet,
Been
haven't
turned
been
down.
doing well. And I'm talking about, I made a comment on the air, and finally TVG must have listened to the program. Because if you're 1 through about 9, you're okay. But if you got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, you get compromised. The shortest distance, 22 points, a straight line. I did learn that Bishop Davis. But I'm just saying to you, it's very difficult. Not only on the main track, but also on the turf surface. And that turf surface is completely different from Churchill Downs. A lot of horses that last year that came in from Canada, from Marquessy, that I really was high on, they didn't run very well at all. Didn't run very well at all. A horse in here that I did look at, this Tap to It. Ralph Nix used to be assistant trainer for Bill Mott, and I respect him. And this spinaway, they was going 7/8 per mile. They were going a mile and 16. I'm telling you, this horse needs more distance. And this horse could be the winner in this spot. Could be. And even if Songbird wins this race, and if Tap to It runs decent, this Tap to It may be my Oaks horse. This horse got a lot of potential, a lot of upside. Another horse in here that I threw in here, him and I talked about. Now this is another thing that I didn't understand about the tag, because there's a couple horses that are in this Breeders' Cup. The tag should have made the odds higher, but he didn't, because he loves Dale Rollins. But saying that, here's a horse that ran second in the Pocahontas in Churchill Downs. The Pocahontas, that's a grade 2 event. The horse wins her maiden in Parks, going 5.5, and then goes a mile and 16th in the Pocahontas in Churchill Downs for Kelly Breen. And the horse got a little tired, come down the lane, gets beat a half length, gets disqualified to third. The name of the horse is called Bold Quality. Papo Lopez, 20-1. 20-1. Could get something underneath. Or Songbird says, hey, I don't like Keeneland's surface. I'm gonna back up. Jerry Hollendorfer, this guy's as good a trainer there is in North America. But I could go on the backside in Keeneland tomorrow or Friday. And I guarantee you, everybody that I know would tell me, man, when Hollendorfer ships, you better watch it. You know how many times I bet Hollendorfer when he shipped? About 20 times. You know how many he's won? 0. I can't catch it. But this filly's the real deal. But this Tap to It, a really nice horse. Trust me. I'll let you pick whatever you want.
Going to the next race?
We can go any place you want to go. We can go down to Trixie's if you want.
Race.
I do like a horse in here with a number. I do like a horse in here with a number.
Yeah, race 4 is what's going to kick a lot of the players out of the
My
big
wife's gonna
4.
like it.
It's going to be a spread race, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf course, and 5.5 furlong sprints. Don't look like, when I handicap races, I look at class. In sprints, you can go out class. Listen,
Yeah, I
speed
agree.
is speed. Going 5.5 furlongs, you can find horses that are coming out of low rank stakes that can compete at a grade 1 level. There's going to be, we've got 14 in the body of this race, and even if they're scratching, we've got 2 on the AE list. For me in this race, I wanted to, in fact, I made still a prime bet for me. He's an A. That's the 12 horse ready for ride for Tom Albertrani. This horse is coming in. He's won his last 3. His last one was in the mud, but before that he had 2 at the distance at 5.5 furlongs. He looks prime. The only reason I'm somewhat hesitant on this horse is I see a jock change, and I don't like to see that. Castellano's jumping off, and he landed on Bobby's kid for Chad Brown. Now that may just be because he has more horses than Chad Brown. So, and Victor Espinosa is a good rider. At 10-1, he's worth a shot. He's an A for me. My other A in this horse is the one horse Pure Sensation for Christopher Clement. You're getting Johnny B in the saddle. He's 3 for 3 at the distance. I think his price is going to float up. And he's proven on good ground. And I think, we haven't mentioned this yet, but handicapping these turf races at Keeneland for Friday and Saturday, the main track's going to be fast. The turf course is going to be giving. It's going to have some give to it.
What's supposed to go down 39 degrees in Lexington or so?
Yeah, so look for horses that have proven themselves on good ground. I don't think it's going to be yielding, but it's definitely going to be good. And so if you see California horses shipping in, you know, they never run on good ground. I wouldn't take them at a short price. But that being said, Pure Sensation's proven on good ground. At 6-1, he's usable. So those are my 2 A's. I also like the 5 Lady Shipping. She's a mare, but she is 7-8 at the distance. She got just beaten by a nose in her last race at Keeneland.
12 on 5, right?
Kathleen
2 A's,
O'Connell is
12.
making a jock switch to Irad Ortiz, who rode her in a previous win up at Belmont or at Saratoga, where she set a track record against the male horses, so she can absolutely compete here. Underneath, though, is where you're going to make money in this race, and I'm going to go deep in the exact and trifecta pools, but there are an absolute couple of bombs. A horse on the outside, Mongolian Saturday, 15-1. He's a pacer presser. This horse, in his last 4 races, is run second 3 times and once first. His speed figures are 102, 99, 96, 108. That puts him right in the mix. At 15-1, you've got to use him.
See, now that's where him and I differ.
And I don't like a horse that's going to take money. In fact, it's 4-1 on the morning line is undrafted for Wesley Ward. He's a closer. If this race was 6, 6.5, he could win it. He's all class. I just don't like him at 5.5. That being said, he can get a piece, but I don't think he can win it. So I will not be using him in the first position. The key in this race is find a strong opinion and build your bets around that. My key horse is the 1, and that's what I'm going to build my bets around.
Yeah, this 4-year-old gelding, Christopher Clement, is worthy. Won at Parks by nose. They won 21-1, 44 flat, 55-4. I don't like anything outside 9. I don't like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. From me, from my standpoint, you can throw them out. Don't want no part of them. I don't care secretaries right now. I don't like them outside. Now saying that, now here's a different perspective as far as the way I handicap and the way he looks at it, okay? He likes the 1. And this horse won a grade 3 last time out by a nose. Time before wins an optional 62.5. That's $62,500 in Saratoga. And then had 2 races on the main track. Now how come Combined decides to go from the main track to the turf? Okay? So
Well, the horse, though, this is where I disagree with you, Don.
But that's fine.
Well, and this is great about handicapping,
I love
because
it,
everybody has different opinions, and why I love this game is if you're right, then you get paid. If you're wrong, you don't. So everybody's more than welcome to have their opinion. And class, I totally agree with Don. This horse is stepping up in class, but that's racehorse time that he did in an optional claim for 62.5. He went 5.5 on a good turf surface. So it wasn't blazing, and he ran it in 101-1. That's racehorse time. I don't care what kind of horses he's running against, and that's why I chose him. We have differences in handicapping. When it comes to turf sprints, to me, speed is speed.
You better be coming out the gate. Unless you got late kick.
Yeah, and he should be right up there. So.
Now again, his web handicap holds to mine. So the horse I landed on is the 9, no silent. And you're saying, really? This horse is 15-1. Got Gary Stevens. Listen to these numbers, try guys. They won 6.5 furlongs. They won 21-2, 43-3, 106-4. They ran 6.5 furlongs and 113. 113 for 6.5. Now, what do you think he's going to do at 5.5? You got Gary Stevens, you got Gary Mandela, even though this horse, 2 back, an optional 62.5. But I don't know what happened, but boy, this horse here has got nothing but speed. And I don't like undrafted for Wes Welker. The 1 is definitely a horse to be used. I don't know if he's going to get squeezed coming out. Johnny V's is as good a jock as they're out there. A horse to beat is Lady Shipman for Kathleen O'Connell. But if you watch the race at Keeneland, now again, this horse ran in the Buffalo Trace for $100,000. And the horse is a dead winner coming in stretch. He gets beat at the wire. Now that's a $100,000 race. The race I'm talking about is a grade 3 event. A grade 3 event. So where's the comparison there? I'm trying to get a little value here, and I think this 9 horse has got a big shot.
Do you have any concern about the ground? This horse has been running on firm ground.
The only ground I'm concerned is when I run to the winner's circle and that $100 window, and that ground is starting to shake. You know what I'm saying? Pay the old man. That's all I got to say. But seriously, good race.
Yeah, spread as you can in this race if you're playing the multi-race wagers, because there's, any number of these guys can win it. So this is definitely a spread race.
But I just don't like outside post position going 5.5. I've never liked it. I like inside post positions. And we'll just see how that works out. But that's just me. That's just me. And I like jockeys. There used to be a jockey here used to ride at Churchill that I absolutely loved. You guys probably never remember him. Maybe you have. His name was Tracy Agar, Louisiana. And he told about, and he had a bad eye. The time I met him, he put his hand out. I put my hand out to him, and it goes like this, goes to the other hand, But he was riding something up. He's like Eddie Delahoussaye. I mean, but your flavor, we'll pick whatever you want next.
Do you have any questions? Anybody have any questions or any particular races you guys want to look at?
I know you want to look at classic.
Yeah, we do.
Have you ever looked at the stats on the 5.5 there's a ceiling, the winner, what the hole he came out of? Like, the horse usually win inside the 10. Is that a history, or is it ever won from 13?
He probably has that, I don't. But I just know this meet at Churchill, going 5.5.
5.5, posts 4 through 7 are hitting at a 14% rate, which is the highest percentage. That's based on 15 races, so the sample size is small.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
remember
saying
that.
but saying
Devil's
that
in the detail.
is the
Sample
full body
size
of the
small.
race 14 horses.
Means it's not
I mean,
consistent.
you can say
I wouldn't let that
that a
hang
sprint
around.
race. I mean, they only have 5 or 6 horses.
Yeah, well, one thing to keep in mind with the Keeneland layout and the
Think about
5.5
this,
turf,
why there's not much.
sprints, they've got a long run up before they make that turn. So if you're quick, if you're on the outside and you've got speed, you can get over. So the outside post with the run up the Keeneland, it's not.
I want y'all to remember this. What he's saying. I'm telling you. 10 and out ain't getting nothing. 10 and out. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 26, 47, 99. Ain't gonna get there. Ain't gonna get there. Ain't gonna get there. Not gonna get there. I'm just trying to help you save a few dollars. Take the money that I'm telling you, and then put it on other races through AmWager.
Unless there's a bunch of scratches and 13 moves up, then you're okay.
Your flavor. But no, I'm just kidding. I just don't
There
like
won't be
outside post
scratches.
positions.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. If they got speed, they can get over. Want to do race 5?
I think they want to
Yeah,
listen
we're in
classic.
the turf races. You ever just kind of handicapping out the turf?
I like them all. I want to know the
Outside
ball.
of Keeneland is a bad spot to be. No. The way European horses run a turf race versus the way American horses run a turf race are completely
Yeah,
different.
and there's
So
no coming from the back.
why is a European horse on the outside?
Because that's where he drew.
Well, no, I get that,
Well,
but
he's
why is it in a
not-
bad spot?
He's not
Because
compromised. I mean,
why
like,
would a horse be compromised as
Go-
European on a
I
turf
think,
race?
I think
You
what
know
Don
what I'm
is,
saying?
I think what Don is saying is that in turf sprints, he doesn't like outside, he's only
I
5.5
get it.
furlongs.
I heard that mentioned earlier, talking about the turf races, and it just, it's kind of odd just because of the way they run the race, because it's the last 8 miles
Right.
for a turf.
Right, but what
for
he's
a
saying is at
European.
5.5 furlongs, well, there's no, well, undrafted, he's run over it, but he's saying at 5.5 furlongs, the outside horses don't have time to.
I mean, but just visualize. I know, but just visualize. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're getting out, and here you're the 14. Now, you gotta get over it. I mean, do you think that guy on the 12 is gonna say, yeah, by the way, come on over here, right? 2, that ain't gonna happen.
But the way American horses run a turf, and the way European horses run a turf are completely different, and I don't think
Because they
there's
train
compromise.
different.
Yeah,
They train
I don't
different.
think there's compromise
At a mile
American
on the route races, or a mile or anything, outside those, they run a big
I
pack.
wouldn't have thought so either.
Let me tell you, he was over there, he graduated University of Louisville, equine school. He was over there how many weeks?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, got to see John Goslin's the whole operation. I just know that people that have gone over there, when they start training, that first half mile, or I should say the first quarter, it may be 29 or 30. There ain't a horse at Churchill Downs going to run that slow. Then they pick it up a little bit to half, 3 quarters, and that last quarter, acceleration. And why trainers here in the United States don't do that, I've never understood that.
Yeah, it just, I wouldn't count a European horse off on a longer turf race because he was on the outside post. Just because of the style they run, I don't believe that's, I think an inside post might even be a hindrance to him, more so than an outside post.
Yeah, Europeans on the outside. In fact, our top selection on the Friday card was at Euro for John Godson.
Now, if these races were in Roascott or someplace in England where they run 22, 24 horses, I ain't worried about those conditions. But at Keeneland, what I've seen and what I've witnessed, there's no way I'm taking them. Now, don't get me wrong, I can be wrong. But what I've seen so far, they have been pretty straightforward. And I chart every single race that I handicap. And I mean, I don't go back and look at them, and I mean, I chart them. And I look and see. When I'm looking down here, and I'm saying, here's Tonelist, where he should be, and this horse is on the lead, and I'm saying, Johnny V, what are you doing? Your horse should be coming off the pace. And I see it all the time. I've seen Cal Burrell do it. I see Rob Alvarado making mistakes. Because anymore, the Jerry Baileys and the Pat Days, these guys don't do the homework. The guy that does the homework for these guys are their jock agents. Let me tell you what. When I used to go to the racetrack when I was younger, Pat Day and all those guys, you know what they had in their back pocket? They had a race for them. You know why? They were looking. They were looking, see where my horse should be. These guys today, and these trainers, how stupid. Hey, Papo, just get on there where the horse feels. I'm going to tell you what, Papo, if you don't get that horse out there, you know where this 8.5 shoe is going to be? It's going to be right up your fanny, because I'm telling you, you need to get up front, right? Or the horse coming off the pace. And I'll tell you a horse I absolutely love, that other than Harmonize, that we mentioned earlier, a horse that I thought ran as impressive as any horse at Keeneland this meet, was a horse for Dale Romans, called Broly's Calls. That horse ran huge. Now, whether the horse is going to run that well, Broly's Calls.
Oh, yeah.
This horse come from nowhere. I mean,
My
from
wife
nowhere.
wanted me to bet on that.
The only problem with the horse, I think the stretch
It's
run
in
in
juvenile.
Keeneland's too short. I think you're going to need it. I think Churchill Downs is going to need it.
He's in the juvenile.
He's in juvenile.
Yeah.
My wife told me
You're
to
going to have a
bet
heavy
him,
favorite in there for
and he won it big
one of the biggest
prize.
cheers in the game.
Pissed me off.
Doug O'Neill. Doug
What did he go
O'Neill.
off at, King?
I had an event in Ruth Chris, he was my guest speaker, and never
Yeah.
showed up.
She told me he was gonna win the race before it started.
I
I left him out. He kicked me out.
And I told him, I was at Arlington Million, and he come over and shook my hand, and I spit down on the ground and said, don't even talk to me. You know how many people that spend $125 for you to show up, you counterfeit so-and-so? How many times you've been tested positive out in California? You're not good for the game. Get away from me before I take a swing at you and you hit me in the snow. You know what I mean? I don't like him. I don't like him. Jeff Mullins, another crook. You know, you don't see him nowhere. Patrick being Cohn, what's he selling cigarettes out in front of Santa Anita? He ain't done nothing. Where are these guys? I'm telling you, where are these guys? And the good trainers over there, like James Fires. He had a horse that should have won the Kentucky Derby called Arch, and he drew number 1, and it was over. I'm talking about a trainer. Never tested positive. Carl Nassar, how many times he ever tested positive? Never. Never. Christopher Combant, how many claiming horses he got in his barn? 0. Class act. That's, I get going on this. Do what?
Tell us how you really feel.
Color man.
They wanted me to go to Frankfurt to testify, or at least go up there and about the thoroughbred industry, and I refused because I told them that the sergeant of arms wouldn't get me out of there
Is this
within
why
30
this is
seconds.
radio show? It's just
Because
like
the
this.
people that are on some of these boards are absolutely unequivocal
I'll tell you exactly what it
morons.
is.
That, you know, the good old boys are going to stay there. They're going to control the industry, and they're not doing anything for the betterment. This is the first time that I've been following the Breeders' Cup, and the Breeders' Cup's been how many years? Wasn't even on television. What, we gonna watch McDonald's commercials? It's not on television? And we got Tom Leach up here? And John Calipari in the poll? I mean, come on, John, you're a hell of a basketball coach, but you don't know anything about horses. You know, I don't understand these people. But I will tell you, Keeneland, they're doing it right to them. And if you ain't got a parking pass, you'll probably get lynched for it, because it's bad. But anyway,
The
I'm
band of
just
the
telling.
Breeders' Cup, Bobby Perry's band.
well,
And,
you know, that's a good thing. I just didn't call.
Sister-in-law's nephew is the lead singer. Bobby
But
Perry's a
anyway.
good friend of my brother, my nephew.
No, it's where are we gonna go? I was gonna go to the Breeders' Cup.
They got a
You
great
guys gonna
band.
sit here and listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't wait.
11th race, the Breeders' Cup Classic. Doesn't take a rocket scientist here to understand. My heart's with American Favor, trust me. And I'm not talking about 6 to 5. I don't like 6 to 5. I won't bet 6 to 5. The horse goes 4 to 5. I don't want no part of them. I love American Favor. And the thing that I do not understand, and I'll clarify this with everyone here, it makes no sense to me. Bob Baffert said, after the Travers, I'm going to take this horse to Churchill Downs. What did he do? He left for California. Okay? A point. Where did he train before he won the Kentucky Derby?
Church.
Where did he train when he won the Preakness?
Church.
Where did he train when he went to the Belmont and won it? He's Triple Crown winner. How come he's not trained Churchill Downs? Because let me tell you, if you train at Churchill Downs over that surface, you can run anywhere. Anywhere. And why he's doing that, I have no idea. I don't know if there's something wrong with the horse. I saw the horse get off the van, looked like $1 million. But again, you shouldn't look that good. I mean, this is a quality animal. But I'm going to tell you, I just believe this, and I hope I'm wrong. And I haven't decided yet. But I think Beholder's going to be tough.
I saw Beholder beat those boys. She didn't know his beater. She could kill him.
And I don't like anything else.
I think he's number 1.
Okay, and I'll go this real quick, and he can elaborate. Toneless, can't win it. Keen Ice got lucky. When Keen Ice, let me tell you, okay, let me tell you something. All right, okay, let me tell you, he got lucky. Did you see, well, wait a minute. Did you see American Favor when he went to Gate and Travers? He was washed out.
Yeah, it sure was.
Victor Espinoza, instead of backing the horse up, he tried to go in the lead. You know what they ran the last quarter of a mile into Travers? 26 and change. There's $5,000 claimers. And Churchill Downs can run faster than that. American Pharaoh was done.
Too deep.
Right?
Vulnerable.
Key and Ice ain't gonna
Did he
get
have
nothing.
a work
It's like
though
he
down
blew the
that
field
kind
out
of took
dirty.
something out of him? Did he run out, did he run off in the exercise drive?
Who's that?
American Pharaoh.
The biggest problem I have with American Pharaoh in this race, the biggest problem I have,
I'm talking about
the horse hasn't ran 2 months. And I think history says that there's never been a horse that's ever won the Real Cup Classic that's been away that long, right or wrong.
Right.
I think the maximum is around 30, 40 days.
Steamroller be out towards the front?
You know, Steamroller was the wise guy who's coming in, but he hasn't worked at church, or he hasn't worked at Kingland all week. DRF reporters have been out there asking why the horse hasn't worked over the track. And the trainer's just saying, oh, we're just going to gallop him. It's not going to have any official work. So ideally, yeah, Smooth Roller in his PPs, he shows a stocking position, but I don't think he's going to be up there with Pharaoh. I think Pharaoh's going to try to control it for the front end. Beholder's going to be right next to him. It's going to be tough to beat one of those two.
Frosted won't go at the last time.
Frosted will not go. Frosted will go back to the running style that got him the Pennsylvania Derby win, which is a mid-pack style. I like Frosted at 15-1. That's no play. I have him in the mix. Do I think he can win it? I see the race going through Pharaoh Beholder, but he can absolutely run second or third.
You like Honor Code at all?
Honor Code, I loved in this race that there was more pace. He is the one horse that is, I mean, yeah, his turn of foot is better than anybody's in this race. But the pace dynamics of this race, I just don't see a lot of early speed.
We're going to go 24, 48.
Yeah, and I don't see him closing into that. He needs that wicked pace. He needs that 20, 22, 23 for the first half, 47 for the half. That's the kind of pace he needs to close into. And I don't think American Pharaoh Beholder are going to hook up in any way.
You know, it looks like Beholder, it looks like American Pharaoh, and then when we say that, something's probably going to
Yeah,
bite
see,
you.
it was what I was
And everybody's looking for value, but I don't see it. I don't like Thomas, I don't like Frost.
Well, like going into the Derby, obviously, I mean, that run in the Arkansas Derby to me was probably the greatest run I've ever seen. The horse run.
Who's that?
The Arkansas
American
Derby.
Pharaoh?
The way the jockey just never moved, and the hands never moved, and never stood
I'll tell you what, like
and over soft crap on top of it. But I always had a problem with that underneath, because it's all spread on the bottom half of it. And, you know, him running the mile and a quarter in the Derby wasn't the fastest Derby in the world. He only won by a length doing it. You know,
In his time,
then you go to the Belmont, you look at it and you think, well, okay, that's totally wiped it off. I still think his horse is vulnerable at a mile and a quarter. Am I wrong on that?
The distance doesn't concern me so much, but I know he can get the distance. It's just a matter of how much pressure Beholder's going to put on.
I know one thing,
If
see
she's
American Pharaoh, the weight that the only guy that I know, and I'm sure there are others, when I used to go on the backside, there was only one guy that I ever seen used to weigh his horses once a month, and that was Elliot Walton. I'm sure other guys do it, but I never saw it. And I'll guarantee you, I don't know what American Pharaoh's carrying right now. She ain't got much. She's got all muscle. I mean, he does right there.
yeah,
Got all muscle.
he's put on weight.
Oh,
I
man.
think. Listen, in the Travers,
And that's because he didn't run too much.
go back and watch the Travers. He didn't have his regular jock on him. He was forced to do something that he is the type of horse. He doesn't. Yes, he's led most of his races, but he can sit off the pace. He's a quality animal. But he was forced. Frosted forced him into an uncomfortable position, took him out of his comfort zone. And was he 100% for that race? I don't really think so. That race was an afterthought for Bob Evans. Immediately after the Haskell, when he won the Haskell, they brought up the fact, oh, you're going to take the Travers? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're not going to take him there.
Zion Alpine said,
Yeah,
"We weren't sure."
with no interest in it. And it seems like, and I applaud them taking him up there, people's horse. They didn't make the same mistake this time around. He's bringing his A game this time.
And I'll tell you something else that probably
Range
goes to
development reminds me a lot of Count Fleet. If you go back and look at Count Fleet, a lot of great length on top, and bottom it's all spread.
I'll tell you something that happened Sunday at Santa Anita. I don't like it all. American Pharaoh. You know what that horse won?
26.
5-6. The last horse that ran that quick was hard spun with Larry Jones. He ran 58 out of Churchill.
Right.
Didn't win the Derby, almost was sharp. I don't like that work. But again, you have to realize Bob Baffert, quarter horse guy. That's where you got to start. He likes to drill. He likes to drill. He likes that 58.
What
work.
day was that? It was a Sunday though. That
Yeah.
wasn't-
Well, I know, but here's what I'm trying to say. You work a 46 work, which all good horses should, but then you gotta come back 6 days later and run a mile and a quarter. You don't think that's not gonna take a little bit out of that horse? That work I thought was
See,
just.
for me, like Saturday, Sunday before races isn't as bad as it is Monday.
And Victor
Tuesday.
Espinosa
Monday or
was-
Tuesday is
And
really
Victor
good. Especially
Victor Espinosa was quoted in Blood Horse and Daily Racing Form. I'll let the horse get away from it. Let him get away from it. Now, I guarantee if I'd been Baffert, me and him had words. Particularly when I'm trying to run for $5 million. Because, I mean, hell, you're talking about
At this
30.
point, it doesn't matter.
Well, I know that.
Does
These
Papo
guys-
like
I know, but these guys
American
are
Pharaoh? Is that
enough.
who he? Is that who he?
Pat Day told
I
me.
never Well, heard you that. can't harm him here because everybody's sitting on top of him. He's too nice to.
God is
Yes, I
really
think he
done
likes
for
American Pharaoh.
No,
Guaranteed forever for at least.
That's the two.
yeah, but what I'm saying to you is Pat Day told me this one time. He said, myself, Jerry Bailey's, and all the good Hall of Fame jocks, if you put a blindfold and put plugs in your ears, they can tell you in a tick how fast that horse is running. How fast. Whether the horse is going 45, 46, 47, 48, they know. They know.
I guess I don't mean that they don't
They
care.
have a clock in there.
Sure they do. Mike Smith, all the great ones, they all do.
John, I'm not a very good handicapper, I'll be the first to
Well,
tell you
but you
that.
gotta be lucky.
But I like to watch them visually, and I think that Keen Ice was always a little short in the big races.
Mhm.
Got a bad trip in the Derby, but I think it was a sloppy track in the Haskell, or maybe the Belmont. No, it was the Haskell, but he was coming. He seems like he's been improving, and he got to those horses. Isn't American Pharaoh, he is kind of the speed, right?
Well, both of them's going
And he and
out.
Frost
Trust
got in there. I mean, I
Trust
just
me,
think that
Beholder,
Keen
American
Ice,
Favorite, both of them's going out.
Keen Ice has
And that's
been-
what Keen House is for.
Keen Ice has
Seven.
been coming. He's a
Because I
curler.
guarantee you, they're gonna go, what, 40?
He just seems
they're
like
gonna
he's
go
been
45.
improving. Now, maybe the break has hurt him, but the workouts,
No, Keen
everything they're
Ice.
saying, he's jumping out of his skin.
Keen
You know the one
Ice.
thing I don't like about Keen Ice?
I
Who
don't,
rode him in the Travers, grade 1 event?
Joel Rosard?
Castellano.
Okay.
He's not riding this time. That's all I gotta say. I'm not saying he can't win it, but
I'm just saying that he just seems like.
And I'm trying to pick a winner. I ain't trying to pick
And
favorites.
even in the Haskell, the out was sloppy, but he was still coming. He got up for second or third. It just seems like the distance is not an issue with that curling.
Oh, I don't think,
Once the
well, I don't think distance is a problem
So,
whatsoever.
you know, is he faltered? Was that his biggest effort?
Yeah, Keen Ice can have.
I don't think
But
he
he's
did.
always
He
really.
can absolutely get a piece.
Closing your shin.
I've got him in the
But I don't think he-
Never
in the
not
third
rode on
position.
it.
I don't think Tolis can win it. I don't think Frosty can win it.
Keen Ice, the only negative on Keen Ice coming in is I heard they were going to switch his running style. He's been coming from mid to back in the pack, and I heard Roman say this morning that he's going to be closer to the pace. And maybe that's because he thinks Farrah's going to get away. Let the horse run its race. You know, that's what's making it successful. I don't know if the change in tech is going to help. If anybody comes off the pace, I like Frosted, his Pennsylvania Derby. I watch the races, I go back and watch the replay, exceptional. And that was 2 weeks after he got in that pace duel with Farrah. McLaughlin brought him right back, put him in the Pennsylvania Derby. Everybody, including myself, thought he was going to regress. And guess what?
He's 15-1.
Yeah, exactly. And he won going away with a 105 bridge figure, which was the highest in his career. So then that horse coming from off the pace, he's dangerous. That's who I want if I'm picking something coming from mid-pack.
But they're not beating Pharaoh, right?
Excuse me?
They're not going to beat
Well,
American Pharaoh. I mean, nobody's going to beat him, right? He's just going to roll.
I see my A horse is Pharaoh. I am somewhat worried about Beholder. The only knock on Beholder is I don't know how she's going to do shipping. You know, she's been in California. You never know how a horse is going
But
to.
the key to that is the guy that's won this event before, and that's Richard Mandela.
And he has, I heard Richard this morning, he has a very quiet confidence about him. Something that you don't.
He's not like me.
He's flying under the radar. I heard him say this morning that praising American Pharoah, but he says my horse is going to make American Pharoah win the race of his life. When I hear a trainer say that, especially he knows what he's got. Richard Mandela.
Richard Mandela. Richard Mandela.
We have a question on.
Yes.
What do you think about Aiden O'Brien bringing in Clint Eastwood?
What do you think about that?
To me, it seems like an afterthought. I think he was shipping his European horses over here, and he's like, "What the heck? I'll throw them on the plane and bring them over." I don't see him getting a piece. And I mean, that being said, watch him win. I can't see him getting a
I do
piece.
think
Looks like an
he burned
afterthought.
himself out in payroll.
But again, when
If he comes off
I'm
the
looking
pace,
at
I
this
think he'll
race,
play better.
I'm going to see how they break. I'm going to see who's going to take the lead, which is either going to be American Pharoah or the holder. I want to see that half-mile split. I want to see that 3/4. And then, when they get into the body of the race, when they're going a mile, mile 16, and I'm just going to tell you, look at the jockey in his hands, how he's moving it, whether or not he's putting some pressure on, or whether or not he's just laying. He's waiting. If you ever watch Calvin Burrell sometimes over Churchill, Calvin, he'll be on the backside, and he may be 4 lengths back, and he's fixing his goggles because he knows he's got something underneath that tank. And here he comes, and uses that rail. I just hope it's a safe race. I really don't care who wins it because I don't have a piece of it, but I really would love to see American Pharoah win it. If
First
American
Triple
Pharoah
Crown to
would have
win
been
it.
my horse, as soon as he won the Belmont,
He'd be in a shit.
he'd have been retired. But it's just like Rick Pitino. It ain't about the money. You know, I mean, Zayad says it's not about the money. No, I mean, you understand? Sure, it's about the money. I mean, he's already got. I don't know what the what's have they even said? How much? Yeah, I mean, how much have they?
And then undisclosed.
And again, how many horses have won Triple Crown? Look at how many years it's been. Look at the span. They're going to get their money, and probably some offsprings, right? But I'm a little concerned about the 2-month layoff.
Who's the other motor besides him?
Excuse me?
Motors. Is it gonna be sloppy?
No, not.
What's the weather forecast?
Clear.
Sunny
Now,
all
they
day on
have,
Friday and
yeah, Friday.
a little overcast on
I
Saturday.
heard they're going to take the, they have 2 or 3 races on the turf tomorrow. I believe those are going to come off. They want to preserve the course. The track should be fast. It will be fast on Friday and Saturday. The turf will have some get to it.
But I look at how some of these races are running Friday, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Saturday.
Right,
they're
it'll
gonna
be
run
the same way.
Keenan's racetrack on the main track played fair.
Yeah.
I don't care if you were off the pace, you were mid-pack, or you were on the lead. If you were a good enough horse, you would win the race.
Who has the best buyer number in the field?
I don't use bar figures.
You don't?
I use wrist figures, but I'm a speed guy.
Who has the best wrist figure in the
Oh,
field?
I'm sure. You talking about in the classic?
Beholder.
I think
Turtle.
Beholder.
AmWager returns more dollars to each player daily.